Today, the people of Brooklyn have spoken. From Brownsville to Park Slope. From Coney Island to Clinton Hill. From Crown Heights to Williamsburg. And they have said that they want a DA's office that will make sure that all of our neighborhoods are safe. But one that is also based on fundamental fairness and equal justice for all.
Welcome back to the Road to City Hall. That was my next guest on Tuesday night when he accomplished something very rare in New York City. He defeated a sitting New York City district attorney, beating six-term incumbent Brooklyn DA Charles Hines on primary night. Now, Hines is actually on the general election ballot on the Republican Party line, but he has vowed not to campaign in that race, so the borough is poised to have its first new district attorney in over 2 decades. Joining us now to talk about his plans for the office and more, Democratic nominee for Brooklyn District Attorney, Ken Thompson. Welcome back to the program, and congratulations.
Thank you, Earl.
This was a long shot. This was a very long shot.
I don't know if it was a long shot. I mean, it was a challenge to defeat a 24-year term sitting DA, but I was determined. I was determined to make my case to the people of Brooklyn, and we were successful.
Do you have any sense of where the numbers clustered or how the whole thing broke down demographically?
We're looking at the numbers now. We did very well in Brownstone, Brooklyn. I believe we did well in Central Brooklyn, but the numbers are still coming in. We did well across the board, Earl. I mean, if we were not successful, I wouldn't be sitting here today as the Democratic nominee. So our support came from all sections of Brooklyn. And that's where I'm truly honored to be here today, because so many people wanted a change.
This was partly a defeat of the mighty Kings County Democratic Organization, which was on the side of the incumbent, as they normally are.
Right. I didn't have any support from the Democratic machine. In fact, the Democratic machine did all it could to stop me from winning, from becoming Brooklyn DA. And so I am going to take office on January 1st, unencumbered. I'm going to make sure that if you are an elected official in Brooklyn, you have an obligation to serve with honor and with integrity.
Well, yeah, that was very telling. In your victory speech, you mentioned that, and I know you were talking about it on the campaign trail.
Yes.
And I guess it's that much more emphatic because you don't owe a lot of favors to a lot of people, other than the members of the congressional delegation, who I think were all with you, from Brooklyn, and that's Yvette Clarke and Hakeem Jeffries and Jerry Nadler and Nydia Velasquez. I don't know if any of the other officials supported you. So when you talk about going after public corruption, there's nobody who can say, hey, Ken, I was handing out flyers for you on primary night.
Well, Errol, I don't think I owe anyone, including the members of Congress who endorsed me. They endorsed me because they wanted a change in the DA's office. The DA's office is in crisis, and they believe that I have the background and the vision for that office. I intend to go in and make that office the best in the country, and we're going to make sure that we deal with public corruption anywhere it exists in Brooklyn.
There was a lot of back and forth in the closing days of the campaign where you were, and some of it hit the newspapers, right. You were accused of this and of that. One of them that I think is worth noting is that Clarence Norman Jr., the former chair of the Democratic County Organization in Brooklyn, who was prosecuted by Hines and sent to prison for a few years for extortion and larceny and some other things, was there at your victory party.
Yes.
And the implication, and this was a couple of days even before the primary, was that you had some kind of connection to him. I wanted you to speak about that.
There were hundreds of people at my victory party. People believed correctly that we were making history Tuesday night. I mean, there had not been a sitting DA in Brooklyn defeated in 102 years. The last time was in 1911. So all types of people came out to my victory party. What was reported in the New York Post was just a political hit job, trying to disparage my victory and trying to question what type of DA I'm going to be. What the New York Post failed to report is that I'm suing the Post, and I've sued it repeatedly. And I'm suing it now on behalf of Sandra Guzman, who is an Emmy award-winning journalist who complained about that cartoon that they ran showing President Barack Obama as a dead chimpanzee. She spoke out against it, said it was racist. She was fired. And I'm a lawyer. And I've been going after the Post, standing up for Sandra Guzman, as well as 2 other black reporters, Austin Fenner and Kimberlisa Livingston, who also alleged that when they worked there, they were discriminated against based on their race. So the Post needs to be honest when it's going to deliver a hit job.
Okay. And I should mention, you also sued them in the famous case of Nafissatou Diallo, right?
That particular case has been settled.
Settled, but you did sue them.
It's a matter of public record.
Yeah, I remember talking to you when you wrote the complaint and asked you a few questions about it. So, look, one last political question, and then I do want to talk to you about some of what you intend to do with the office.
Yes.
Cyrus Vance, the Manhattan District Attorney, no love lost between the two of you. You guys went at it over the case I just referenced. Now you've got to be colleagues. How do you make that work?
Well, we're going to make it work because Cy Vance is an excellent prosecutor in Manhattan. I intend to be an outstanding prosecutor in Brooklyn. In fact, D.A. Vance and I spoke yesterday about the very important need to work together.
I don't want to be petty about it, but who made that phone call?
He reached out to me. I reached out to him months ago. Mm-hmm. We've been trading calls, but we talked yesterday in detail. He congratulated me on my victory, and we pledged to work together to keep the people of New York safe. I mean, so I look forward to working with D.A. Vance. Mm-hmm. That was one case, Errol. It was, I understand, it got a lot of attention around the world, but it was one case. And we are going to go forward now. Collectively, I'm going to meet with all the DAs in the city. They've all been reaching out to me. Mm-hmm. I'm going to sit down with them because I intend to add to their effort to keep us all safe.
And maybe raid their office for a few lawyers. Just kidding. We're going to be back in a minute with Ken Thompson to talk more about what it is he intends to do as the incoming Brooklyn District Attorney. Later tonight, we'll take a look back at a wild primary season and look ahead to the November general election with 4 top journalists in our Reporters Roundtable. Stay with us.
I think there's a sense that people are seeing a great change in city government, new mayor, new city council, and I guess folks came to a conclusion it was my time.